welcome. I'm Peggy. Thank you for being a part of our day. And we always try to give people good information. And today we're going to start with some very valuable information. And I'm thrilled to have Dupe and Carol here. And Drew is a deputy public information officer for our Greenville County Sheriff's Department. And Drew has some information that helps to keep us safe. And I appreciate your coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You've been with the Sheriff's Department about
almost 8 years. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And every time we turn on the news, every time we pick up the newspaper, we hear about robberies, break-ins, crime of all kinds. And it seems to most of us, lay people, that it's escalating and it's kind of scary. And I thought maybe you could give us just some common sense things that we can do to protect ourselves and our homes without having a gun in our pocket 24 hours a day.
Yeah, a lot of times we become complacent, and with the warmer weather coming, a lot of people are going to be going on vacations. It's some home safety tips, some things that we may forget or not check over. Make sure your bushes are trimmed, your hedges, they're all trimmed low. Sometimes burglars can maybe hide behind those and use it for concealment. Also, if you have an alarm system, whether it's monitored or not by an alarm company, still use it because it will still activate if somebody breaks into your home, and sometimes the audible portion of that alarm will help scare away.
Well, and of course you have that sign usually
right
in your yard or someplace, and so a lot of times people will see that sign and go someplace else.
Right, absolutely. Make sure that your windows are locked. A lot of people, you may forget, you may have a window open due to the nice weather and forget to actually lock it. Just make sure that all your windows are locked. Another thing, just obviously make sure your doors are locked. And if you're going to be out of town for an extended amount of time or even a week or so, get to know one of your neighbors and maybe have them keep an eye on your house, exchange phone numbers, and have him get your mail regularly, because you don't want your mail piling up.
Or newspapers or
right
anything lying around, because that's a signal that nobody's there.
Right. Yeah, and if somebody's scoping out your house, they may check your schedule and see when you're coming home, when you're leaving, stuff like that. So try not to leave a car sitting if you're going to be gone for a week or two. Maybe have a neighbor move the car some or whatever, just to kind of.
These are simple things.
Simple things that sometimes we overlook or become complacent about. So.
Now, what about these phone calls? I don't know what. I get phone calls, and I bet you do too. They'll call you and say, "Oh, you have just won a cruise, or you've just won a trip to Bermuda." I hang up.
That's the best thing to do.
You don't want to give information over the phone about your personal life or anything to people.
That's correct. And to kind of remind people, a few months ago we had the Duke Energy scam going where people were calling and acting like they were Duke Energy personnel and trying to get people to pay an unpaid power bill through a Green Dot money card. And we've also had reports in the past of people posing as law enforcement officers saying you have an outstanding bench warrant and requesting an amount to be paid through a money card or other means like that. And we don't conduct business like that. If you have a warrant, you're going to be notified through the mail, or a deputy's going to basically show up at your door. But don't give any type of information, Social Security numbers, bank account numbers, anything like that. If you feel that, if you want to verify that, call Duke Energy or call the company directly themselves. Hang up and call the company themselves and make sure. Especially if you don't have an account with Duke Energy or somebody else, that's definitely a red flag not to even consider paying the bill.
Now, what about personal safety? Especially, at night, or women alone. I mean, I had a friend tell me she's afraid to go to the mall alone now.
Yeah,
what are the things that we can do?
Some things, obviously have your keys. Before you leave out the mall to go out in the parking lot, have your keys in hand in case you can press the panic button on your keys if your car is equipped with that. If you carry pepper spray, it's always a good thing to have in the event that somebody tries to do something. But just make sure that your cars are locked. Try to leave things out of the car that may look appear to be valuable, because there's a lot of times people will scan through parking lots looking through cars, and if they see something that's valuable, they're going to smash the window out, grab the item, or go through your car and then take off. So we always encourage people to make sure that your GPSs are put up, even the cords to the GPS, because if they see a power cord, they may think, well, there's probably a GPS in there. So just make sure that even bags, like a lot of times women will carry just handbags that maybe not their purses, but don't leave those out as well, because those can be a target.
Okay, and be sure that you lock your car.
Mm-hmm.
Some cars lock automatically, but when you're just driving around town or on errands, be sure your car is locked, so that if you approach a light and you have to stop, somebody can't come along and open the door and get in.
Right. And if you do have somebody approach, you don't have to stop for that person. You're not obligated to roll your window down or anything. A lot of people, get scared or don't know what to do. So you're not obligated by any means to do that. And if you feel uncomfortable, drive off.
Now we do have community patrol, which is 422-2020, and I guess we can put that on the screen. Now you want people to use that number when?
If people are having problems in their neighborhood, we have community deputies that are assigned to each beat area throughout the county. And back to the home safety tips, if people want to set up a neighborhood watch program, they can contact our community patrol and set that up, and a community patrol officer will actually come out, speak with your homeowners association or even just a few neighbors if you don't have a homeowners association, and try to set something up. And
the neighborhood watch is helpful. I mean, the sheriff's department feels that helps.
Absolutely, because you've got neighbors looking out for other neighbors, and ultimately there's going to be somebody home, one of your neighbors that maybe you're not home, and everybody looks out for everybody and tries to prevent things from happening. So
that's a good thing. So if you don't have a neighborhood watch program where you live, you can call that number and they'll help you get one organized in your neighborhood.
Yeah, and another preventative tip that is a good thing to do is all your electronics in your house, or guns, really anything that's got a model number or serial number on it, try to keep an inventory of some of the things that you have. That way, in the event that your house is broken into, you're able to give us a list of what you had in the serial numbers, because we've got databases that we can use to check for the stuff if it was stolen. So
that helps you as well.
Absolutely, helps tremendously.
Yeah, because that was my other question. What can we, as just everyday citizens, do to help law enforcement?
Yeah, just obviously keep the list. I mean, that's a great preventative tool to help ensure that we're able to help find your stuff if it is stolen.
Okay, so what do you need to list? The serial numbers of what?
Basically, like on TVs, maybe list the model, like if it's Samsung or LG. Computers, telephones.
Because those are the things they will.
Firearms, if you have firearms in your house,
okay.
List the serial numbers for those. Really anything that's got a serial number, try to keep
Okay, now let's talk for just a minute about guns, okay?
Okay.
We have a right to protect ourselves, our home, our family. Our Constitution gives us the right to bear arms. But you want to do it with knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a gun, you want a gun lock. And I believe, if you don't have a gun lock, I believe they are free.
Yeah, I think there's organizations that will give out gun locks. And obviously gun safety is a huge part. If you're going to own a firearm, make sure you're responsible with it. And they can be a great protection if you need it.
You don't want it lying around where somebody can get it, or a child. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you have a gun, or you're thinking of getting a gun, and a lot of women are buying guns now, you want to be sure you know how to use it. And somebody told me it's like playing the piano. You have to practice.
Absolutely.
And it's one thing to go buy a gun, but you law enforcement people recommend that people take one of these courses?
They can become CWP holders, take a concealed weapons class. There's other organizations that offer firearms training just to become familiar, because you can end up hurting yourself if you don't know how to use a gun. You may end up, hurting or killing your own self by accidentally, discharging the firearm. So
you want to go and take the course?
Absolutely. It's a great tool to make sure that you're familiar with how to use a gun.
And there are places all over that have ranges and people to help you become proficient.
Yeah, we have several shooting ranges here in Greenville.
Yeah. So wherever you happen to be there,
Absolutely.
you can find that help, right?
Right.
And one more thing. What about this pepper spray or wasp spray or whatever? I have a friend that called me up and she said, I have a can of that and I keep it by my front door. And I thought, but I guess that makes sense. If somebody comes to your door, you don't have to open your door. But if they try to break in, if you've got something, it isn't going to kill them, but it gives you time.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think?
Wasp sprays, it's got a pretty decent distance that it'll shoot. A lot of people, I've heard of people using wasp spray in place of using pepper spray.
There's no law against that. You're not breaking the law. What about keeping something like that in your car?
That's same thing. Yeah, there's no law against that. And if you feel
threatened.
Somebody wants to, if somebody feels threatened or you want to use that instead of pepper spray, it's got the same effect. It burns people's eyes.
Okay. Well, we've heard it from the experts, so I guess we don't want to give information out over the phone, and we can go buy a can of wasp spray and do the simple things that might keep us safe.
And if people are going on vacation, they can always contact the sheriff's office, and we can set up an extra patrol request for your house up to a month, and we can include whatever hours they want, or all hours during the day.
Oh, that's wonderful, Drew. So you want people to call in and say, we are going to be gone for 2 weeks or whatever. Here's my address. And you kind of ride around.
We'll set up an extra patrol request for their house, and a deputy will periodically keep an extra eye on their house while they're gone. And if in an event that something were to happen, leave a number and we'll contact you.
Thank you so much. Bless you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming and
Thank you very
sharing
much.
with us. And we support all that you and your people are do for us every day. God bless you.
Thank you.
Drew Pincaro from our Sheriff's Department. We'll be right back.